Signals of fear. Not everybody recognizes the signals of fear. One of the main things to watch fear is to watch the nose. The nose tells a horse what situation he is in, how the environment is, how the other players are. And this is a horse which is a pretty good example because he's damaged. Here you can see that when he is being touched on the nose that he gets in panic. I don't know if you noticed, but he also has a big scarf on its nose, and that means that he has experience. He's also been some sort of trained in running around in circles, and he doesn't know how to break this behavior itself. So I'm going to stop him now. When he's in the bigger field, we have also a bigger sand place, you will see, here you see his eyes, you see his tail. Then you will see in the pictures in sort of slow motion what happens when he gets into panic. He loses totally control, tries to watch behind. I mean, a horse can watch behind him, and well, chooses to change direction in a very, very fast way to avoid every contact. And then when he's trotting again, he sort of feels comfortable. This is, of course, very dangerous behavior for riders. Fleeing itself is very normal behavior. Here we see him in another circumstance, another play. And here I want to touch his nose. Here you can see his breath. If a horse is breathing like this, better prepared. This is building up tension. This is a very awful way for a horse to build up tension and to get excited. He's sort of making oxygen in his lungs so he can run away. Here you see him calmly walk away, which is good. I'm using the whip and I'm trying to get him sort of used to the whip. He has definitely, this horse tells us, definitely he has experience with whips. But horses are also responding on feelings. And if the feeling of somebody else's anger or sadness or whatever, he will respond definitely. He will notice that, because that's the language of horses, how to feel, how to read the other ones. Here you see him turning his head around as if he wants to tell me, or it's not if, it is, he wants to tell me, I don't want any contact. Please let me go. But I'm not giving him a chance. I'm not letting him choose. I'm forcing him to come to me. And you heard him take this deep breath, and that's a sign of, I give up. I give up. This is using instinct of a horse. And here I let him go again without touching and tell him, okay, your problem solving was all right. That's for me the first way to work with a free horse, to tell this horse you choose right, but I'm going to help you to make other decisions. I want to give you another example of tension. Because if you recognize tension, then you can, well, sort of survive on a horse's back. Another way of tension is the body. When you are observing horses, you have to look at them in the behavior with other animals, etc. You can already see on this horse that he's very, very sensitive. He's using his tail, so every animal, every fly which touches his body, for him feels like a bullet. Here I touch his nose because I know there he has a big scarf, not only mentally, not only physically, but also mentally. Here you see his nose, you can see his tension increasing, and when it gets too much for him, he will jump away. And here you see the response. This is a reflex, but still it tells us that he has very, very big sensitivity on everything. Wow! And then it gets too much. He was like building his tension and he jumps away. I'm not punishing. That's behaviorism. In behaviorism, people use punishment and reward. I don't use any reward or punishment. I just want to redirect the horse's behavior and tell him that there are a lot of other ways. Here I touch his nose again. And his reflex, he has no choice. This is the only thing he can do, because this is for him the only way to solve this problem. I don't think his nose will still hurt, but I do know that there is a memory, and horses are very, very specific in memories. They don't generalize. They, bam, there he goes again. They remember the situations perfectly. He has taught that when somebody touches his nose, that means trouble. So he responds like, I want to get away from here. There are, of course, fences, so he can't. But I'm telling him, it's okay if you flee, I understand. And that's why he comes back, because he is a horse. So he comes back. Here I put out my hand and ask him, can you join me? And you can see him thinking, you can almost hear him thinking. This is why I like to work with a free horse, so I can change his mind about his way of problem solving. This will show you, I will show you in another movie. This is the cramped way of standing. Here he starts shaking, and you see it's a reflex and it's an answer on big tension. A free horse will always tell you the truth. So to me it's very important to work with a free horse. Here he is eating something. Because when a horse is walking free, he will tell you the truth. I cannot influence a horse free with tack or ropes or anything. I can't. A horse which is walking free is just himself. So here I'm working in the field with this guy, and you can see already he's getting a little bit nervous because the flies on the side where I am standing, where I'm making the movie, is upsetting him. So he already responds on my presence, on my being there. In the next part, I'm going to show you contact. And this horse, there was a chicken who chose to be his friend, and it's really incredible. I let him smell, because I know how important the smell for horses is. They smell, when they meet, they smell each other. And here he is using his front legs to well, it's sort of an expression, I'm uncomfortable. You will see it again. Not this. That was the movement. That's a movement of discomfort. It's not a Spanish walk, and some people might think it's a Spanish. It isn't. Besides, he didn't learn it at that time yet. This is also a behavior of being very high sensitive, feeling every inch on his body, feeling this small fly even coming by. The fly doesn't have to land on his body. These are all responses of mental discomfort. A horse is sensitive, definitely, but he doesn't have to respond on everything so strong. Here you can see his nose. You can see there was a chain on his nose, and somebody used this chain to probably tame him and to tell him that he had to be together with that human, that he had to trust this human. Well, I'm sorry, but I can definitely imagine that if somebody hurts you, well, I don't trust the one who hurts me. I trust the one who helps me and who puts out his hand, his or her hand. He's, well, mixed up. He's thinking, can I trust? Can't I trust? And I'm touching this place time after time, and this is months. This will take quite some time. Quite some time. When a horse is free and you're entering the place where he is walking, he will tell you exactly how he feels about you. If a horse comes to you, he will tell you he's comfortable with you. If a horse starts, like now in this moment, starts walking up and down, he tells you something. He tells you, I'm pretty uncomfortable of you being here. I'm not comfortable with your presence. The answer to that can be two answers. You can say, okay, I'm going to leave you alone, or you can say, we're going to solve this question. I am a problem solver, and I am going to tell this horse every time I'm your friend. I try to look through the eyes of the horse, even though sometimes it's pretty hard because I'm human. Here you can see him in another moment, walking free, interested, curious, but also very discomfortable. And I'm going to touch his nose once again, because that's where his biggest pain is. That's where the scarf of the memory is. And when a horse has a bad memory, the tension there, this is sad. It's a horse of 7 years old. So this horse is supposed to know that people are good, that he can be friends with people, and people want to be friends with him. I'm a problem solver, so I'm looking up for the issue. Where's your problem? Okay, there's your problem. Your nose is the problem. So I'm going to touch your nose all over again and again and again and again. So here I took the video in my hand, which is pretty hard to make a video and to help the horse. I'm touching his brain, I'm telling him that I mean well, and he's keeping his head down, but not in a good way, not in a real natural way. You can see on his eyes that there is tension. He's not looking comfortable. And here you can see on his body again that he's feeling things, that there's shaking. This is not magnesium or all kinds of that stuff. This is just a response on the presence of human. Here it gets too much. But you can see already that he chooses just to keep away his head. Now he wants to run, but I already sort of convinced him that he can stay with me, that he can trust me. Here you see the stamping again, the moving his hoof, the strong way of expressing himself. When you're helping horses who have these issues, and this horse really has big issues. He has been, well, quite some, for a long time, has been, I just name it the way it is, abused. So this will take a long time to get him back. Because he's friendly, and look at his eyes. I mean, who can ever become angry in his eyes? Because he's friendly and he's kind, he can get the time. So there has to pass a winter, and perhaps we can get this horse back on a normal horse behavior. He needs friends, and so I give him a friend. A very balanced friend, and you can see on his face that he's changed. There is more comfort on his being horse. And, well, this horse even gets postcards. We'll see. Time will tell.